Hi everyone, my name's Bob Cairns and I'm a violinist from Glasgow in Scotland. Some of you may remember me from the sessions in Dundee and Glasgow, but for those that don't, a very warm welcome to the virtual Benedetti sessions. In this video, we're going to concentrate on plucking the strings, and this is called Pizzicato. So before we start, let's make sure our violin's in position, shoulders nice and open, no tension, and if you use a shoulder rest or a pad, please make sure it's in place, and then we're ready to go. Here's an example of what Pizzicato sounds like. As you can see in my left hand, the fingers are being placed on their tips and they must be put onto the string firmly enough to allow the string to press onto the fingerboard, or the sound won't ring, the note just won't sound. In my right hand, my thumb is against the right hand corner of the fingerboard and I'm plucking with the index or first finger. As a violinist, we must make sure our nails are short, both hands, left and right, so when we pluck the string, it's not being plucked by the nail, but the pad of the finger, and the action starts from the base knuckle. Another thing to bear in mind is the point of contact where that finger is going to pluck the string. We don't want to have the finger over the playing area, because that will create quite a harsh sound, quite a brittle sound, and it's not nice. As we move our finger away from the playing area and down over the fingerboard, there comes a point where the string will ring really nicely. This also applies when we put the fingers on, and I've found through experience that probably the best point of contact is midway between the bridge and whatever finger's on the string. That's where the string will ring most. If I start to move to the wrong part of the string, far too harsh, and then it starts to ring. So please bear that in mind. So how do we create this pizzicato sound? What do we do with our arms and fingers? Let's try some exercises, and let's start without the bow. Let's begin simply by swinging that elbow under the violin. We're going to pluck the strings from G to E with the pinky, not pressing, just gently floating across the top of the strings. Then I'll try the same with the third finger. No tension, no pressing. This also gives us a really good idea of where our arm level has to be for each string when we want to drop the fingers on and then create our pizzicato sound. Using our swinging elbow, there's another good exercise we can do as beginners. So I'm going to begin by swinging the elbow all the way under to the G string, and with the pinky, nice and curved, I'm gently going to pull the G string up, plucking only the G string. Then I'm going to move my whole arm, take the fingers to the D string, gently pull the D string, move to the A string, and finally move to the E string where my elbow should be roughly under the middle of the violin's back, and we'll pluck the E string. And this is a good exercise for strengthening up that little finger. And now on to exercise 2. As I mentioned earlier, the placement of the finger is very important. We need enough pressure on the finger so that it puts the string down onto the fingerboard, but at the same time, we don't want to press so much that we're actually squeezing the violin's neck between the thumb and first finger and creating that tension that we don't want. The fingers need to be almost square in shape as they go down to create the desired sound, and that elbow, you may notice, is well under the violin for the D string. On the other hand, if I don't put enough pressure on the finger, I get this sound. There's no sort of quality to the sound, and it's almost dull, does not ring, and Mr. Beethoven wouldn't like that at all. And now for the third exercise, let's practice finding some notes. So let's play some notes. I'm going to begin on the D string, making sure my arm's under the violin, fingers over the D string, thumb on the side. Begin by plucking the D string. I'm going to go a step away to first finger E, and a step away to second finger F sharp. I'm just being aware maybe my first finger has to come down the fingerboard a wee bit to get a nicer sound, and it rings more. Then simply E to F sharp, lifting that second finger from the bass knuckle, and then, slightly more tricky, we'll lift the second finger, bring it back beside the first, and we'll try a low second finger, which takes us to F when it's not sharp, which is the F natural. We'll try the same on the A string, moving our arm to the A string, so that small movement. Drop on the B a space up, and again just be aware of that first finger. Want to make a nice sound. Lifting from the bass knuckle, then bring the second finger to the C natural when it's not sharp, the C. Finally, E string. I'd like to try something a little bit different. We're going to put that first finger on the E string, a step up, which is again an F sharp, and we're going to try gently pulling that first finger back without changing the shape of the hand too much, and we'll try a low first finger. Lift it up, and you can even try leaving it on the string, pressure off the finger, pull it back, pressure off the finger, move it back up, and move it back to the F. And then we've found the notes required to play in a scale of C major or a scale of A minor. So just recapping on our earlier clip of placing the thumb on the side, I'm going to pluck on the D string, so swing my elbow under. Nice point of contact, place the fingers. But this time, I'm now going to reach for my bow. I'm going to place the bow into the palm of the hand. Gently place out the first finger on the thumb into an L shape. And I'm going to do exactly the same exercise. Place the thumb on the side. Creating exactly the same sound, but this time with the bow in the hand. This can be useful in longer sections of music when we're required to swap between pizzicato and using our bow, which is called arco. And now for my final exercise on pizzicato. Sometimes when we're playing, we haven't got time to put the bow into the palm of the hand and make our shape and then get our thumb on the side, because we're required to make a rapid change from playing to pizzicato. So some simple exercises to help with that. Keep your bow in its normal hold over the strings. I'm going to pluck the D string. I'm just going to extend my first finger, pluck the D string, and then drop the bow onto the string. Pluck the D string, pluck, play, pluck. I could try changing bow. I'm going to continue the bow moving downwards and then do an up bow. Down, up. Could even change string. Let's take a simple tune. Let's say Frere Jacques. We all know that one. So I'm going to start with the bow, playing arco. I'm going to swap to pizzicato. There's that first finger doing the plucking. Back to bowing. Back to pizzicato. Back to arco. Exercise that pinky if you want. And we're finished. Well, that wraps up today's video. It would have been almost impossible to cover all aspects of pizzicato, but I hope what we've done today is a starting point for you, and we'll see you all again next week on Beginners with Bob.